Say you want to export your Blender scene to Unreal Engine. Before you do that, you have to understand that there are two similar but different workflows. Scenario 1, you've made a whole scene and want to export it to Unreal. Go to File, Export FBX. If you've already applied materials to your mesh, set the path mode to copy and make sure the checkbox next to it is enabled. Simply drag and drop your file into Unreal and choose Import All. Now filter by static mesh or whatever you're looking for and drag the assets into your scene. With all the meshes selected, hit this icon to create a new folder that contains all the selected meshes. This way you stay organized without having to manually select everything. Even though Unreal automatically created the materials with the right textures for you, not all the settings from Blender are adopted properly in Unreal. Sometimes not even all the maps are imported, so you might have to take some time and manually correct your shaders. Now the important thing about this method is that all your meshes share the same pivot point. In case your scale is incorrect, this makes it incredibly easy to scale or rotate your whole scene without having to readjust every single object. If you want to change the pivot point of an individual object, simply enter modeling mode, scroll down and adjust the pivot point to your liking. Scenario 2, you've made assets that you want to scatter all over your scene. Before you export them, hit Alt-G to reset the location. This way the pivot point of your exported mesh, which is always the center of your scene, is going to be in the right place. If not, adjust it accordingly. I know there are many different workflows, but this is the one I prefer. There are probably add-ons that can do this even quicker, but I try to avoid any third-party stuff as it usually works fine until I'm on a deadline. Just keep in mind that even though the textures are saved within the FBX file, anything else is not going to be saved. Even simple nodes like color ramp, noise or bump to normal conversions are not going to be translated. If you want to bring that over to Unreal, you have to bake the textures. And that is something I absolutely hate, so I'll simply put a link to another tutorial in the description. One more trick, if you're working on your scene and realize that you have to go back into Blender to change a few things, there's an incredibly easy way to do this. Do the things you need to do, make sure your mesh is selected and go to Export FBX and limit your export to selected objects. Back in Unreal, create a folder for your new meshes and import the FBX file. Select the mesh in your scene, swap out the static meshes and you're done. You might have to reapply your material, but that also takes only a few seconds, so yeah. All you have to do now is to make sure you watch this video next.